Like, comment, subscribe, and tap that bell so you be notified when the next video drops, and follow me on other social platforms. Alright, fuck the intro, let's get into the video. What's good, y'all? Y'all already know who it is. It's Mufasa Uncaged, and I'm hitting y'all with another Is It Worth It review. The game I'm reviewing today is Dragon's Dogma 2. This one dropped a couple months ago. I know I'm pretty late on a review, but I took my time. I analyzed everything, and I still ain't beat the game, but I'm going to give you as much information as I can on this game. Now, without further ado, fuck the intro, let's get into the video. From what I can say about this game's story, it's basically about a dragon coming to steal your heart, and you're apparently chosen as something called the Arisen. Now, it's up to you to slay this dragon and retrieve your heart. While on your journey to retrieve your heart, you get yourself into the middle of a power struggle between a person who's out here faking like they're the Arisen. So you'll have to expose them as well. When it comes to the side missions, they will randomly come to you as you stroll around towns. These missions can sometimes be limited time, meaning you can have a certain amount of time to complete them, or if you progress far enough in the main story, that quest will be gone. If you're not here for the story, then shit, let's get into the gameplay. You start the game off with creating your character. The character customization in here is pretty good. When you create your character, the bigger you make them, the more stuff you can carry on you. I've seen plenty of people make different characters from Game of Thrones, Legend of Zelda, hell, even Kratos. When fighting, you have to be mindful of how you approach situations, because as you go from battle to battle, your health bar will start to lower down, and you'll only be able to regain back your health to a certain extent. One thing I liked was when you're about to die, you can use a health item and instantly gain your health back. Also, be mindful of stamina too. When you use your basic attacks, you won't lose any stamina, but when you use your skills, you will. You pick one class to start off with, and later you are able to switch in between classes. As you play more each class, you unlock weapon skills, core skills, and augments for them. You can equip 4 weapon skills at a time, also upgrade them to fully master the skill. There are 7 classes to pick from, and all of them has a role to play in the group and has an advantage in battle. In this review, I'm only going to touch on which classes I've seen in action. The first one I selected was the Fighter. The Fighter is your typical sword and shield class, which means you'll have to be in a pocket. I happen to enjoy playing as this class because you're able to block and counter with your shield. The skill set for this class is more amped up moves of your sword and shield. There is even a move that allows you to spring people off your shield, jumping onto bigger enemies. If you jump off a cliff, you can do just like Captain America and use it to reduce fall damage. The Archer class, of course, has the bow and arrow and focuses on ranged attacks. Aiming for headshots and weak points is one of your specialties, so playing from a distance is key. You can also craft other arrows that paralyze, poison, or explode. The Mystic Spearhead class is a mixture between magic and combat. You basically a mage mixed with a Jedi. You have a double-edged blade staff that you can attack with, and your magic amplifies your attacks. A cool thing you can do with your magic is pick up enemies and throw them just like you have the Force. You can also stun your enemies by shooting them with your magic and getting in some combos. If you're looking for a class that's quick, the Thief class is where it's at. Being this class, you have more stamina and you can hold on to bigger enemies much better than the other classes. Your attacks are more quick than the other classes. There's one move that stuck out for me with this class, and it will have you out here dodging like you have Ultra Instinct just like Goku. The Mage class has the support you'll need for the group. With the Mage class, you'll be hanging back and preparing spells to support from a distance. You'll have the spells that are good for attacking and some that benefit the group, like healing, applying elemental damage to allies' weapons, or giving them a boost in stamina. As far as the open world go, it's pretty much alive. How alive, you say? Well, let me just show you a couple clips.
Really? Oh wait, it's the Griffin I fought last night, nigga. This nigga came back. Oh, all right.
Nigga said round 2, motherfucker. You thought that shit was over?
No, I didn't think it was over, nigga. I definitely didn't think it was over. I was like, you call me slipping. But man, I didn't have my shit with me, nigga. Now I got my shit, nigga.
Done. Our combined
Ha! You tried. He tried. He tried. He fucking tried. You motherfucker. You sly dog. You caught me while I was monologuing. This motherfucker. Oh my god. This nigga kidnapped me this time. Holy shit. Holy shit. Ah. Wait, what the fuck was that? Motherfucker.
Oh my god. Oh shit.
Get him up, let him get up, let him get up, let him get up. Fight back, nigga! Fight back, nigga! Fight back! Fight back!
You'll be spending most of your time walking distances back and forth for missions. If you're tired of walking, you can take the ox cart from town, but sometimes the ox cart will randomly be attacked by enemies and you'll be forced to fight. In between missions, there is much to be explored in this world. Plenty of hidden caves to explore and creatures to fight. You can make camp in towns if you are not close to a town. Camping allows you to switch your skills, eat provisions, or sleep until the next day or night and regain your full health. One of these things I found interesting in here is you can get locked up like Akon. If you're starting shit in towns, then the guards will jump you, and instead of fully dying, they will handcuff you and you'll be placed in a cell. There's a few ways out of this. You can have a key to your cell door and escape, bribe one of the guards, or just break out your own way. Once you break out, all your items will get returned to you. When it comes to dying, you can use a wake stone to revive yourself. You can also use the wake stones on other NPCs in the world. If you don't want to use the wake stone, you can reload your last save or last time you slept at an inn. Going back to the inn comes at a risk though, of lost progress and you having to redo wherever the hell you just did. On your travels, alongside with you are companions. One that will always be by your side, and the other two can be recruited. You can recruit companions by walking up if you see them free roaming, or you can go to the Shadow Realm and recruit other players' companions or your friends' pawns. The cool thing about the companions is when you recruit them from other players, they'll lead you to something that they know because of the other players' progress in their story, like dungeons, mission progress, or even hidden loot. They'll also spill the beans and tell other people about you. For instance, I had one of my friend's pawns with me, and she said that my friend always had female pawns with him. So then I confronted this man and asked him about it, and he confirmed it, and it was true. Hey, look, I'm not judging him. If he wants to live out his anime hero fantasy in the game, hey, go ahead and do it. Companions in here are helpful. They'll give you energy if you run out of stamina, if you slip and fall off a cliff, and they're right there, they'll catch you. But they also can be dangerous to have around them. There's this disease that companions can catch and have an effect on them. At first, you might not notice it until they start disobeying your orders and you see that their eyes have changed. This can result them into turning into a dragon and destroying a whole town. So beware of who you bring along with you in your group, or you'll end up compromised just like Drake and Ovio. The way to get rid of this is either to let them go from your group or you throw them in the water. I haven't dealt with this in my playthrough, so just a heads up. Also, I heard that this can mess up your story progression. Having companions comes in handy, especially when you're fighting bigger enemies. You'll need to form the right team for when shit goes down, so think about who you bring on the team. The enemies in here have varieties. You'll run into goblins, trolls, lizards, griffins, golems, and dragons, and plenty of other enemies you'll find throughout your playthrough. Be careful when walking sometimes. They'll try to ambush you. Depending on what class you play as, your approach to combat will have to be different. Some enemies even have harder skin, which will require you to have some elemental damage or a bigger weapon. Some enemies will have weak points or even armor. Nighttime introduces a couple of new threats for the nighttime that adds to the night cycle. If you decide to camp out for the night, there's a chance where you might get ambushed by enemies and your campsite will be destroyed. Bigger enemies feel exactly like mini boss fights every time you encounter them. They will have multiple health bars, so fights will take a little bit more time unless you go for the weak points. or climbing on them and deal some critical damage. So far, I have put 68 hours into this game, and every time I get on it, I'm experiencing something new or something that makes me laugh my ass off. It's also fun to hear from your friend's point of view who recruited your pawns for their story and hearing what they go through. I like there is plenty of stuff to fuck around and find out for yourself in this game. If it's one thing I would tell the devs of this game that would have made it better is co-op. I feel like that alone would have boosted it up some points. There's plenty of things I liked in this game, from the classes, the environment, combat, and side activities. Now, I definitely had some dislikes in this game. First thing I want to talk about is the microtransactions in the game. These little items that you can buy are a choice if you need a little help in the game. The Rift Crystals are literally another currency in the game used to recruit pawns, but sometimes you can hire pawns for free. The Wake Stones are rare to find, but if you're careful when you're fighting, then you can stack up enough of them to revive yourself. People were making a big fuss about this, but I never felt the need to buy any of these if I can unlock them by playing the game. If one of the things I'm glad about is they didn't charge us for the other classes we can play as. I also ran into a couple of bugs, the occasional pop-ins out of nowhere, but they didn't bother me as much. Now, when it comes to the fast travel, I didn't like the way they approached it. Most of the time, you'll spend walking in here, walking to your destinations. You'll have to collect something in here called the Fairy Stone. These Fairy Stones are your way of fast traveling throughout the world. You can find these throughout the world. They are rare to find, but not impossible. Another thing about fast traveling is you get these markers that you can place down on the ground, and it will be a location marker for you to fast travel to. Now, if you're an adult with responsibilities just like me and don't have much time to play games, this can be annoying. It's 2024. I would like to have the option to fast travel in my games without having to go out and find one little ass stone. The ox cart doesn't make it any better either. Most of the time I took the ox cart, I would doze off and would wake up having to fight for my fucking life off enemies halfway through the ride. But however, if you're fighting a big enemy, there's a chance that the ox cart might get destroyed, which will result you back to walking. I noticed how some classes have a counter or a block. This led to me only playing as a few classes because they have this advantage. The fighter class has a shield to block and counter, which fits perfectly for the class. The thief can bob and weave. Mystic Spearhead has magic bubble that protects you and your allies, although I think with this class you should be able to counter with your weapon. One thing I think every class would have benefited from was like a roll evade. Now, when it comes to companions, I don't get why they couldn't revive other companions. I will literally see them pick up other companions in the middle of a fight just for them to bring them to me in the middle of the whole battle. Like, if you have the energy to do that, just revive them. Besides this being an RPG, with quests in here, I sometimes got lost, and the reason for that is while doing quests, you will have to pay attention to the mission details. This game doesn't hold your hand, which can lead you to be lost without direction. There's a mission on here where I had to stalk a dude and follow him from place to place. You will literally have to waste time standing there, seeing where he goes. For me, I said fuck this mission. My biggest upset about this game is you only get one save slot, which means you can't create another character. You will have to delete your first character if you want to make another one. But if you just want to change your appearance, they have a place in the game where you can do that at. Now, I know this game got some hate for the way it launched on PC and it locked at 30 frames per second on console, along with the microtransactions. To some, that could be a red flag. I can understand that people want a polished game along with great gameplay when it first comes out. What I don't like is people were hating on this game and didn't even play it. They just hopped on the bandwagon full of hate. Just like a lot of new games I play, I go in with low expectations and give them a chance. What I got out of this game was a fun experience. Despite the dislikes I had, I still enjoyed the game. It does a good job with making the open world look live, with a bunch of shit trying to kill you along your way. I felt like there was enough content in here with the different play styles to pick from. I took my time playing this game instead of just speeding through it because I wanted to enjoy every last bit of it and see what other secrets I could find. If you don't have any other games to play this summer, why don't you give this one a try? I could see this being nominated for Game of the Year, but only time will tell. With everything I just said in this review, the question always on your mind, is it worth it? And as always, I'll leave it up to you. If you happen to play Dragon's Dogma 2, what is your thoughts on it? Tell me in the comments below. And if you stay to the end of this video, then hey, I appreciate that. I also would appreciate it if you go check out my other content on here and on my other social platforms. I'll also appreciate it if you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell notification so you'll know when the next video drops. This review right here probably is going to be my longest one I have done up to date, but I had to make sure I did the best as I can and really get everything right. If you happen to disagree or you didn't like what I said in this review, well,
So suck a dick.
and that's all I gotta say for now. I'm gonna go on head on out. This has been another Is It Worth It game review from Mufasa Uncaged, and I will holla at y'all in the next video. Peace.